Hello everybody, this video is very special. If you are looking for a one-stop solution for dramas, unit number 1, then in this video, I have included the most important dramas that UGC net loves to ask. Because there are many previous year questions. So after analyzing all those previous year questions, I have made this video. That yes, these are some of the dramas that a student should know. And on the basis of this video, you can prepare your other dramas as well. I am discussing all the elements that are important from the examination point of view, important quotations, important facts, and a little summary of every drama. So even if you are a beginner, you would be able to make the sense of the dramas. Here is our first play, which is Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, and this Oedipus Rex is, a kind of tragedy. This Oedipus Rex is a part of Greek literature we should know. Okay, this is Greek literature, and this is one of the most important plays of Greek literature. On the basis of the plays of Greek literature, this is our Aristotle and the other critiques like Longinus and all. They lay the rules for the upcoming dramas and which we today respects, which we today follows. So basically, this is written, this was published in around 430 BCE, and the genre here is the Greek tragedy. Greek tragedy. What is a tragedy? I hope you know the definition of tragedy that was given by our Aristotle in the Poetics. Tragedy is basically very serious. It has some embellishments, some ornate words, the diction, and it has some musical elements. There would be spectacle all around, and it provokes some pity and fear, or we can say catharsis. There would be some hamartia in the character of the protagonist, which leads to the tragedy or the downfall. So these are some of the basic elements of a tragedy. And of course, it would be having a certain magnitude, a certain length, right? So that is a tragedy. So this Oedipus Rex is a tragedy. Secondly, we should know that this is a part of Theban cycle. Theban cycle, what is Theban cycle? Theban, this Thebes, this is a place, and all the plays of this cycle have this Thebes as a setting. So this play can be said as a part of a Theban cycle, right? Then we should know that this Sophocles has written a trilogy. Trilogy is a collection of 3 plays. First we have this Oedipus Rex, then we have this Oedipus at Colonus, and then we have Antigone. Antigone is the daughter of King Oedipus. So this is a trilogy. So for examination point of view, you should be knowing the most important trilogies of English literature, right? When we talk about the theme is fate versus free will. Now I have included the most important theme only, right? Your work is to research on these dramas a bit more and you are ready. We know that how there was a prophecy that the king Oedipus will kill his own father and will marry his own mother. And this really happens. It was this Jocasta, the wife of our king Oedipus, who was the mother. And when this king Oedipus was a child, there was a prophecy that this child will kill his own father and will marry his own mother. And to avoid that prophecy, to avoid that future, this Jocasta will give our baby king Oedipus to some shepherd, and that shepherd will give that baby to Polybus, and this is this Polybus who will raise our king. And when one day this king Oedipus was fighting with King Laius on the crossroads, on the road, and suddenly what happens is that unintentionally he will kill King Laius. So this means that he has killed his own father. And then what happens is that he will become the king. And there was a plague in his city one day. And then he calls this prophet, who is this Tiresias. This is the same Tiresias that comes in The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. So this is a blind prophet, and King Oedipus will say to this blind prophet that please tell me what has happened to our city, why there is a plague, what is happening, who is the killer of our late King Laius. And then there is this prophet, because he knows the truth. This prophet, this lyricist will tell our King Oedipus that do not look for the truth. If you will go, if you will, chase the truth, then you will be disappointed. He will warn our this King Oedipus. But King Oedipus was like that, no, I will search the truth. And there was this pride, hubris. This is the hamartia, the weakness of our King Oedipus. And when he one day he gets to know about the truth, that it was me who killed my own father, it was me who married my own mother, I am the culprit. So what he will do one day, he will just pluck out his eyes. He will pluck out his eyes because he cannot see the truth, the reality, the thing that he have done. He has a guilt, and then he was exiled from this place, and then he will go to Colonus. So this is basically the summary. Even if you are a beginner, I hope you are making sense of this story. So basically here the characters is Oedipus, Jocasta, Tiresias, right? Remember this fact. When we talk about the, symbols, basically swollen ankles. This Oedipus Rex means Oedipus means swollen ankles. So when this Jocasta was sending this little King Oedipus, little child Oedipus, to the shepherd, she binded the legs of this Oedipus so that he cannot crawl away, right? And because of that, the legs of this child Oedipus was swollen, and for the whole life there were some scars, some injury on the legs of this King Oedipus, and he never took notice of that swollen legs. And because of that unnoticed thing, it was the same thing which was a connection between the reality and the truth. This is a kind of symbol that tells that you cannot ignore your own weaknesses, because these weaknesses are a way of finding your true strength, your true reality, or the truth. When we talk about the structures of Greek dramas, so basically we have prologos first. There used to be prologos, from which comes the word prologue. Okay, this is basically the introduction of any play, right? So this is the prologue. Then we have episode. Episode is basically, this is a place where the action takes place, the actual action of some literature. Then we have this stesimon. Stesimon is basically a part where comes the chorus. What is a chorus? Chorus is a group of artists who will come in between the play, and they will make some commentary on the story, right? On the events, that, oh, what happened to our King Oedipus. So that is stesimon, right? And basically this was the place where this chorus used to sing ode. Okay, I hope you know that ode, epic. There is a video on our channel of literary subgenres, so you can go and check that video. Then comes the exodus part. What is exodus? Exodus is basically the exit, the end, the exit of the play, right? This is the ending of the play, the denouement, the catastrophe, final catastrophe, where this King Oedipus will be, exiled from this kingdom, and he will go to another place. And the wife, the Jocasta, what she will do? So she will commit suicide. Then there is this closing line. Closing line here is this: count no man happy till he dies. This means that the life is full of misery, the life is full of sadness, the reality is very unexpected. So you cannot consider that the other person is happy. You cannot consider that King Oedipus is happy till he dies. The only happiness lies in the dying itself. That is the main, idea. And that is why the theme is fate versus free will. That yes, there was this fate. The fate was something like this, that King Oedipus is meant to such torture, such a, getting exiled from the place, from that kingdom. King Oedipus was meant for this fate, that he had married his own mother, killed his own father, and he has to go far from the daughters. So it was this fate and that fate you cannot avoid. The Jocasta tried to avoid this fate, but they cannot, right? So this is the free will. The free will was given to him. What is free will? In Paradise Lost, we read about free will. Free will is basically this our king Oedipus chose it. I will look for the culprit who killed my father. And when he was when he was going through this process of finding the culprit, it was this moment that he discovered that he was the culprit itself. So that was this fate versus free will. Okay. So this is all about Oedipus Rex. So if you're reading Oedipus Rex for your UGC net, these are some of the points that you should be looking at, right? Let us move to our second play. Now we have this Abhijnanashakuntala. Abhijnanashakuntala is a play by Kalidas, who is known as the Shakespeare of India. And basically here the language is Sanskrit, right? This is a Sanskrit play. I have included the most important plays and you will love this lecture. Here we have the source as Mahabharata, and it is said that this is based on a event of Mahabharata, and there is a slight modification that Kalidas has made to this play, right? In the character of King Dushyant, right? There is this first Western translation. So you should know that this is Sir William Jones, who in 1789 translated this play into English. It was the first play that was in this our native language that was translated into some Western language or into English. So we should know this fact also. The epigram is basically written by John Geith. Okay, so he wrote the epigram of this play. It was this Geith who loved this play a lot. He was in awe, or we can say he was in love with the character of Shakuntala. So you should remember this fact also, right? And then we have acts. So here we have 7 acts, you should know. We have 7 acts, and in these 7 acts, we will see that how there was a fate of Shakuntala and this King Dushyant. First, they united and then they fell apart. So basically the theme here is love and separation, right? Love and separation means that it was one day that there was King Dushyant who was hunting, right? And while he was hunting, he ends up at the cottage of King Kanva. And this Shakuntala is adopted by King Kanva. And there he see our Shakuntala, and he was in love with this Shakuntala. And Shakuntala also sees our King Dushyant, and she also falls in love with King Dushyant. And they got married by having a Gandharva Viva, Gandharva marriage, which is a kind of marriage without any formal rituals. Okay, so they marries, and one day this King Dushyant has to go out because he has some of his own projects to do. He has some wars to fight for. So he goes to the work, and he gives a kind of ring to this Shakuntala that have this ring, and this is a kind of token of our love. So one day Shakuntala was sitting and she was just thinking about this King Dushyant, and suddenly King Durvasa will come. King Durvasa will come, and he is one of the kind of, we can say, saint who is very famous for his anger, for his curses. And he kind of says to our Shakuntala that give me something to eat. But Shakuntala was too busy in thinking about King Dushyant. She was just brooding over, just thinking. And what happens is that this King Durvasa will give curse to our Shakuntala. That the person of whom you are thinking about, he will forget you. He will forget you. But there is this, the 2 friends of our Shakuntala, who is this Priyam Veda and Anasuya. They will seek some forgiveness from this King Durvasa, that please do not give that much harsh curse to our friend Shakuntala. And then King Durvasa says that, okay, fine. There is if she will show the ring, the token to King Dushyant, then he will get the memory back. He will recognize the Shakuntala. So when she was going to the palace of King Dushyant to meet him, there was a kind of river in the passage, and she was just playing with the water, And while she was playing with the water, the ring will fall into the river. And when she goes to her King Dushyant will not recognize her, because he cannot recognize her without that token, without that ring, according to the curse of King Durvasha. And because of this, what happens is that they will fall apart. And one day the ring was discovered in the belly of a fish by some fisherman. And that is the day when he recognizes that, yes, she was my wife. She was my wife. And later on, we discover that there was this Bharat, the son. He meets his own son, whose name is Bharat. Right? This is the son of Shakuntala and King Dushyant. He was playing with the teeth of a cup. So he was playing with the cup. And when he sees that child, he feels that, why I am feeling some attachment towards this child. And when he sees Shakuntala, then they reunite. So this is the basic summary. So here there is this ring which is a symbol, right? And basically these are the characters like Shakuntala, Dushyant, Bharat, King Durvasha, and there was this clone also, Madhav. Okay, so you should know the clone. Basically, you should know these three things also, that it was in the Act 4 that Durvasha gives the curse. It was in Act 6 that the Dushyant regains that memory, and it is this Act 7 where they gets reunited. And there is this timeline of 7 years of separation, you should know, and that it was the Gandhar Viva. And there is a pathetic fallacy also in the play. There is a big role of nature. How Shakuntala feels is reflected in the nature. The nature is also crying with the Shakuntala. The nature is also feeling happiness when Shakuntala feels happy. So this is the basic pathetic fallacy. So you tell me in the comment section who has given this term of pathetic fallacy, right? You have to tell me in the comment section. And this is again a PYQ of UGC Net English. This was asked in 2023 cycle. That what are the languages that are used in this play? So basically this is Sanskrit, Shorseni, Maharashtri, and Maghi. Okay, so these are the 4 languages that are used in this play. So I hope this video is very helpful for all those students who are preparing for UGC Net, TGT, PGT, NVS, GET, SET, NET, any of the examination, because I have included the most important points. So share this video as much as you can with your family, with your friends who are about to prepare or who are preparing. Okay, let us move to another play. Now we have the third play, which is Final Solutions, right? And this is by Mahesh Dattani, right? Mahesh Dattani is the person who received Sahitya Academy Award, right, in 1998, and this play was published in 1993. Please remember the publishing dates of all these plays that I am telling you. Okay. So basically he was the first English language playwright to receive Sahitya Academy Award in 1998. So basically the theme here is Hindu-Muslim relations, partition and communal riots. When we talk about the key characters, so first we have Hardika and Daksha. This is the name of a single person. Hardika is the older self, right? But Daksha is the younger self. It is in the opening. Daksha is reading the diary and she is remembering her old days. So basically in the opening of the play, we have Hardika. She is standing on the stage and she is reading the diary. And in this diary, she is just being nostalgic. She is just remembering her old days. That she used to play with her friend Zareen. They used to, sing the songs of Noor Jahan, Begum, right? But what happens is that one day the shop of Zareen's father was burned by the family of this Hardika. And because of that riots in those times, because the setting here is the partition and riots, what happens because of that, this Zareen will not talk to our Hardika. And she takes this personally, that why she's not talking to me. I thought that our friendship is far more superior than the partition, than the riots. And there was a kind of bitterness in his heart. Now after so many years, again there is this Bobby and Javed These are the two people who are, running from the Hindus, running away from the Hindus because they are going to kill them, because somebody has pelted a stone on the procession of Hindus. So because of that, this Daksha says that do not open the door, do not open the door, do not open the door, do not let Javed and Bobby come into our home. But this is the Ramnik Gandhi, who is the son of this our Hartika. This Ramnik Gandhi will open the door, and what he tries to do, he kinds of now play a role that he will try to do some atonement. Atonement means that he will try to, erase all those sins that he has done or his father has done with the Zareen, with the family, by burning their shop, by taking that shop on the cheap prices so that they can build their own business. So now he wants to erase those sins. So he offers job to this Bobby, but will not accept it. Knows that this is the kind of sympathy that they are doing with us. So basically, this play is all about the trauma, all about the bitterness of partition, right? And how there is a mob that plays a key role in such chaotic situations. The mob is very important here in this play. The mob always, changes the mask. At one time they become Hindu, at other times they become Muslim. So they are always changing the mask. So mob plays a big role in such riots. They do not have any religion. They do not have, we can say that mob has no religion, right? And there is this wife of our Ramnik Gandhi, who is Aruna. She is very orthodox lady, the mother of Smita. They have this daughter Smita, right? This Aruna says that do not touch our glass. Bobby and Javed, you do not touch our glass because you are Muslim. It will get polluted. And there is this Javed and Bobby who used to have some traumas. There was a deep disappointment, deep feeling of revenge that he is going through. So he's hired. He is hired for pelting stones. He's a hired terrorist now because he wants to take that revenge. So this is basically the story, right? Bobby and Javed, they both are friends, and the Zareen is the friend of our Smita. So you have to remember all these characters. Then there is the structure, that is use of chorus. As I told you, there would be chorus, there would be mob also, and there is open-ended play. This is an open-ended play. There is no final solution to such partitions, to such riots. There can be no solution for the hatred of the people. The only solution is that we should forgive and forget. Mahesh Dattani does not give any solution. The name of the play is Final Solution, but he will not give any solution. He says that there is only one solution, that is to forgive and to forget and just live happily. He leaves the play open-ended. There can be multiple interpretations on the part of readers to interpret this play, right? So this is Final Solutions, and Javed is Daksha's Muslim friend, you should know. So this is Final Solutions. Let us move to our another play. And one thing that I want to highlight is that please read these plays, because these are the most important plays. So once in a lifetime you should read these plays, because if you will read the chorus and the mob of this play, you will realize this is how in reality people fight. They will say that they have killed us, they have let our idol fall, they did so. Such kind of evocative dialogues, if you will read those plays, it would be very beneficial for you. It will develop your mindset, it will develop your awareness towards the reality, right? Then we have fourth play, which is The Duchess of Malfi by our John Webster. Now this is a Jacobean tragedy. This is a Jacobean revenge tragedy. Jacobean tragedies are very famous because they include very horrific scenes. They are full of bloodshed, right? There would be skulls, there would be skin, there would be blood. Such horrific themes, props and elements are used. Bones, animalistic things. So this is Jacobean tragedy, right? So in John Webster published in 1623 this play, The Duchess of Malfi, and this is based on a real woman who is Giovanna di Aragona. Okay, know this fact. The theme is basically corruption, abuse of power and status of women. This was our Duchess of Malfi, who is a very powerful woman. She was a feminist. Now, what Duchess of Malfi does is that she marries to a man who is not of a high rank according to her rank. And this is not acceptable to the brothers of Duchess of Malfi. The brothers are this Ferdinand and the Cardinal. They do not accept him because the man is not of a good rank. He is basically the steward, or we can say the steward of our Duchess of Malfi, and he loves her own steward. So these two brothers will hire Daniel de Bossola to become a spy, to work as a spy for our Duchess, right? And this leads to all the conflicts. They will torture our Duchess of Malfi. They will kill the children of this Antonio and this Duchess. They would be having 3 children, and the Duchess will be executed. This Bossola will unintentionally kill Antonio, and then he would also kill Ferdinand and this cardinal, and at the end he will also commit suicide. So this is the ending of this play. Antonio de Bologna, as I told you, and there was a question in recent 2025 December net examination on the dramatic personae of this play. That is why I have included the most important plays, because they are being asked in the net examination. So the question was this one, that we have to give the exact dramatic personae details. That Ferdinand is Duke of Calabria, and Cardinal is this brother, and Antonio is the steward, and Delio is his friend, Bossola is the gentleman of the host to the Duchess, right? So this was the question, and this is the Duchess of Malfi. So this was the question. Now there are very important scenes in this play. Here in Act 3, Scene 4, there is a mime and dumb show. Mime and dumb show is basically when our King Cardinal was about to renounce the life of spirituality. He becomes the soldier. He is no longer some religious person. He will become a soldier. So this was a kind of transition where he was about to take the revenge. He is about to take the revenge. He will fight with Antonio. He will commit some sins, right? He will commit some horrific events. So this was this mime show. You have to remember Act 3, Scene 4. These are the important scenes. And in Act 5, Scene 3, there is this echo scene. In the echo scene, what happens is that this Antonio will go at the grave, right? At the grave of Duchess of Malfi, and in that grave, there would be some echoes, some sounds, and he just says that, oh, she is dead, would she never come now? And there is this echo that, yes, she will never come, Malfi will never come, she will never come. So this is the echo there. So this is known as the echo scene of this play, right? So you have to remember these two scenes, okay? You have to remember these two scenes. Then there is this PYQ, which is, come violent death, serve for mandragora to make me sleep. What is this mandragora? Mandragora is basically a kind of plant, and this plant is having, some powers to make somebody sleep. Such kind of chemicals it have, right? So here, when this Ferdinand, he is not able to accept this fact that I have murdered, I have gave the commands for the execution of my own sister. He is not able to sleep. He is not able to perform the normal duties of his life. And then he says that, come, violent death, please come and serve for mandragora to make me sleep. I am no longer able to sleep. Similarly, in the Tughlaq also, Tughlaq was not able to sleep, because when we commit some sin, commit some bad thing, we are not able to sleep. We are mentally, we are not in peace mentally. So this is the thing. This is again a PYQ of UGC net. And when we talk about the title, so the skull beneath the skin is basically, this is used in the poetry of T.S. Eliot's Whispers of Immortality. So I would definitely tell you to go and just check the context, that why he has used the skull beneath the skin in this poem, right? So this you have to do. Then there is a related work, that is Cover Her Face. This is a novel by P.D. James in 1962. This is based on the quotation, cover her face, Mine eyes dazzle, she died young. That here the brothers are not acceptable to this fact that she died so young, cover her face, because actually they do not want to see the reality that what they have done to their sister. Now they're guilty. So this is a cover her face. I do not want to see her. She died so young. So that is the thing. So this is all about Duchess of Malfi. Let us just move to another play. Now we have play number 5, which is Tughlaq. Now Tughlaq is written by Girish Karnad, another Indian play, and this is written in 1964, and this is the original language here is Kannad, right? And this was translated into Marathi. Who translated this into Marathi? The person who wrote Silence, the court is in session. Shantataha, court chalu ahe. Now this was played by Vijay Tendulkar, right? Vijay Tendulkar. So this is translated into Marathi by Vijay, right? And the original language of this play is Kannada. The structure, in the structures we have 13 scenes. There are no acts. Please remember this difference. There are no acts. There are only 13 scenes. Okay. So when we talk about the setting, so here the setting is reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq in the 14th century Delhi Sultanate. It was this Muhammad Tughlaq who was the king, right? And in the 14th century, he was the king of our Delhi Sultanate. And he was very famous for his idealistic policies. It was this Muhammad bin Tughlaq who is, said to be in a parallel, who is very similar to Jawaharlal Nehru, the Nehruvian era, because Nehru was also very famous for idealistic policies, but those policies failed. And similar to that, the Tughlaq policies is also failed. So this Girish Karnad has taken some elements, the stories, the characters from the history, and that is why this is a historical fiction, right? He has taken the elements from history and has done some modifications, right, for the fictional purpose. So basically theme is this is a historical allegory because this is, a kind of talking about something which already exists, talking about a thing that already exists. This is a double meaning, right? Because at the surface you will see that yes, this is a story about Tughlaq, but the deeper meaning is that this is based on the Nehruvian era. So this is an allegory. Okay, this has some double meaning. There is the theme of idealism versus reality. When we look at the policies of this Tughlaq shortly, you will realize this thing. And this is the power and failure. There would be power and there would be failure of those powers, of those, application of those policies. So here we have the key characters like Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq. Tughlaq, who is, a very famous king in the 14th century Delhi Sultanate. He will give 2 orders. Now he wants to unify the India. He wants that this south and north should meet and the country should be secular. There should be no fight between the Hindu and Muslims. And in order to make a unity between all of them, he would give an order that the capital should be shifted from Delhi to Daulatabad. And when the capital will be shifted from Delhi to Daulatabad, in the road, in the passage, while the people will make a journey from Delhi to Daulatabad, things would be stolen from them. There would be some theft, and those theft will be performed by Aziz and Azam, right? People will face a lot of different, the money will be stolen, they will be having no food, right? The children will not get anything to eat, they will not get medicines. So problem like these would be there. So we can say that the policy was a complete failure, right? And the second decision he took is that the new coins, minting of token currency, copper coins, that there would be an introduction of a new currency, copper coins, right? And this leads to what? This leads to corruption. This leads to corruption. There would be fake coins that would be introduced in the system, and this leads to lot more problems, right? So because of his decisions, he becomes a complete failure. And not only this, there are characters like Aziz and Azam who will take the benefit of these policies because they know that there is a loophole. They will work as a loophole in the system. They will exploit the people, right? Because they know that the system is not able to 100% execute these policies, so they will work as a parasite. Then there is Barani, who is an historian who is noting every decision of this Tughlaq. He's always with that Tughlaq. He's a kind of advisor, or we can say somebody who is just observing the king. He's like a fool of Shakespeare, but he always tries to guide him right, that you should not do this thing. But our King Tughlaq will not listen to him. He will listen to whom? He will listen to Nazib, who is an advisor. He will always advise our Tughlaq wrong, that you should use power, you should use brutal force in order to reign, because you have to be strict, you are the king. And because of this, the stepmother does not like Nazib, that because she does not want that my son should go through such things, such extreme decisions, some wars. And because of those extreme decisions, people does not like Tughlaq. They want to fight Tughlaq, right? They wage a war against Tughlaq, but Tughlaq is not listening to anybody. So basically, stepmother, will kill Nazib. Stepmother will kill Nazib. And then this Tughlaq gets to know that my own stepmother has killed my own advisor, who used to advise me very intelligently. He will kill the stepmother. Who? This Tughlaq. This Tughlaq will kill his own stepmother. She will be stoned to death, right? And then there is Ghiyasuddin, a character who is, a kind of prophet who comes in the city, but he was, murdered by this Azam and Aziz. So this is basically a storyline that we should know about. And this is post-independence allegory. It critiques the Nehruvian idealism. There are many elements in the play of which you should know about. Like there is a symbol of prayer, rose, chess. So please go through them also, right? So this is basically the Tughlaq by Girish Karnad. And you should also know the other plays of Tughlaq of Girish Karnad, like we have Hai Vadana, okay? So these are also important. We have Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. This is one of my favorite plays. Whenever I read this play, I feel very, emotional. I don't know why, but this play is very close to my heart because the dialogue delivery is so good. Writer is Arthur Miller. This is the American play, published in 1949, and the setting here is Brooklyn, Manhattan, Boston, late 1940s ka time hai. This is after the World War II, and this is basically the era of consumerism, right? Capitalistic society, consumerism, that you have to go to the office, you should have some money in your hands, you should be able to have some car, you should have some insurance, you should be able to have something of your own in order to survive this world, because you have to maintain a status. So this is consumerism. So this is a 2-act tragedy, you should know, and it has received Pulitzer Prize for Drama and Tony Award for Best Play. Based on the American dream. What is American dream? Who has given this term? Who coined this term? Tell me in the comment section, okay? And illusion versus reality, failure and delusion. Basically, when we talk about the characters and the story, so it is this Willy Loman who is a salesman, who kind of works as a salesman for some company, and it has been more than, I guess, 10 years that he has been working for them. But when he goes to them for the promotion, for the salary increment, he will be fired from his job. So it was this one day, he comes to the home, and it was this Linda Loman who is his wife. So he asks him what happens. So he was very tired, right? He was tired from his job. He is not satisfied, he is not happy. And he does not have very good relations with the Biff Loman, who is his son. He has 2 sons basically. This is Biff Loman and Happy Loman, and Linda Loman is his wife. Because Biff Loman knows his past affairs in the Boston. He knows about the extramarital affairs he used to have in the past. There is Happy Loman who wants to be like his father, that I want to be a salesman. When the Willy Loman will die in the end, he says that I will be like one, because he could not fill the dream but he could not fulfill his dream. I will fulfill his dream, right? And there is this Uncle Ben and Charlie. Charlie is basically the neighbor of our this family, and this is Uncle Ben, who is not present in the play physically, but he is in the memory, because this was this Uncle Ben who always comes in the play. There is a sound of flute in the play. He will always come and he will uh, make our Willy Loman realize that you have not done anything in this life yet. You have to come with me, come in the African continent with me. There are diamonds all around and we will make money. So he always makes our Willy Loman feel inferior, and he always wants to be like Uncle Ben, and that is the reason that he forces his children that you should have something of your own. You'd have some good job, some good networking with the people, right? So this is basically the idea here. And there is a quotation that is asked in the previous year questions, that is, you can't eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. When he was fired from his job, when he wanted some promotion, the boss will fire him. And this is the moment he says that I'm not some fruit like an orange. Now you are done with me. Now you have extracted everything from me, my essence, my hard working years, my hard work, my talent. And now when I want some promotion, you are throwing me away like a peel. So that is the why I love this play a lot, because the dialogues, they are so thought-provoking. And there is this Bengali translation also of this play, that is Fairy Wala. This was, directed by theatre group Nandinik. Okay, so please remember this also. The director is Feroz Khan, and there is a related work which is Wife of a Salesman, written around 2022, and this was by Eleanor Burgess. Okay, so you have to remember all these important points for this play, right? And there is also important symbols like stockings, flutes, and seeds. Stockings is a symbol because Willy Loman wanted to give stocking to his past girlfriend, but Linda Loman does not have those stockings. So these stockings always make Willy Loman feel guilty, right? Then there is this flute that always gets played when he is being nostalgic, when he is remembering Uncle Ben. And there is this symbol of seeds. Seeds mean that he wants to sow something very great, some kind of legacy, right? But he is not able to, right? So in the last, what happens is that he will commit suicide, and he will tell, it is a kind of act that where he is showing that my family can now have an insurance, because now he is dead, they can have money by that insurance, right? So that is the play. Then we have this play which is A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. Very important play, and Net has asked a lot of questions from this play. The writer is Tennessee Williams, and it was first performed in 1947, and the genre is psychological drama. It is a kind of psychological drama. Setting is New Orleans. Now what Net will do? Net will connect 1, 2, 3, and 4. These four will work as a statement. Now, right? And now you have to tell which statement is right and which statement is not. And on the basis of this single thing, they will make assertion, reason, questions. So if you know some depth, some important facts about a play, only then you can solve such questions. Okay, so that is the thing. So basically, there is this Blanche Du Bois. There is a car that is Desire. So she will come by, this car. This is a streetcar, and she will come to the society of Stanley Kowalski and Stella Kowalski. Now, Stella is the sister of our Blanche, and Stanley is the brother-in-law. So when she comes to their home, she kinds of pretend that she is very happy. She is having luxurious life. She have lots of visitors, lots of friends, and she is very much, a desired woman among the men. She behaves like this. She pretends this. But Stanley, who belongs to some working class, he knows the reality. He knows the reality of this Blanche, that you are being a fake person. right? You are just pretending that you have so many people, but you do not have anything, right? You are shallow from inside. So that is why we are calling it a psychological drama. It is this Harold Mitch, that this Blanche loves. She wants to marry him, but this Stanley will tell the about the past of this Blanche to the Mitch, and the Mitch when they would drift apart, right? So there will be breakup between both of them. So this is the key characters, and what happens is the last is that this Stanley will, harass our Blanche Dubois. He will rape her, and in the ending we see that she was taken by a psychiatrist or a doctor who will treat her now in some mental hospital. Now she was taken to some hospital. She was being raped by the Stanley, but nobody believes her, right? So this is a kind of psychological drama. And here we will see that Blanche is not a villain. Blanche is a victim. She's a victim, right? If you will read this way, you will realize this thing. This is a very heart-touching drama, I would say. I have read this drama fully, and you will realize a lot if you will read such works. Then there is a symbol, which is Varsoviana polka. This is a symbol in the play. Now this is a kind of song which plays when Blanche is stressed and breakdown, because it was this same Varsoviana polka song which was there when Blanche and the husband, the past husband, because now she is a widow, so when she was dancing with some other men, it was at this moment she realizes that the husband is homosexual, and when she tells him that you are homosexual, he will commit suicide. And when he commits suicide, it was this song that was being played. This is Varsoviana polka, and whenever this song plays, she gets stressed, she gets anxiety. I hope you are able to understand this state. She gets anxiety because she suddenly remembers everything. She suddenly realizes all the past moments with his husband and everything, right? And in order to, escape from such reality, escape from such trauma, she pretends that I am very happy, I live a luxurious life, I am very fashionable. So she is not able to, she is not able to accept her own reality. So this is the psychological drama basically. And there is a theme, illusion versus reality. She lives in illusion, but the reality is that she is shallow from inside. And there is the desire theme and the mental decline, right? So this is a streetcar named Desire. Now we have Volpone, one of the most important plays, and that's very, 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 I would say, entertaining play. If you will read it, you will realize it. So Volpone, you should remember the full name, which is Over the Forks by Ben Jonson. Okay, the Tronay City comedy. This is based on the Venice city. Venice used to be a city which was very, full of wealth. It was a flourishing city in those Renaissance times. That is why Shakespeare has written The Merchant of Venice. We have a lot of literary works in which Venice is the setting, because Venice used to be a place where there was a lot of money, wealth, new developments, right? And it is a beast fable also, because here the animals, the characters are having qualities of animals. That is why it is known as beast fable, right? Now setting is Venice, Italy, and here are the key characters. Now this is Volpone, who is a fox, right? And there is this Mosca, who is a fly. Now what happens is that basically the story is very easy. Just understand this story like this, the way I'm telling you. There is this Volpone. This Volpone is like a fox. Now just imagine that the fox is about to die. Just imagine this thing. Now what will happen when an animal dies? What happens? There would be flies on the corpse, on the dead body of the animal. So there is this Mosca, who is a fly, who is a servant of this Volpone, right? This Mosca will come. Okay, this Mosca will feed on the dead body of this Volpone. How? he will try to make profits. He will tell every person in the society that this Volpone, this old man is about to die. Now he is having so much property. Now only those person will inherit or will get the property who will give him the gifts, who will take care of him in the old age. But what he is doing, he is just faking that he is not dying, he is just faking that death. Okay, so now comes the Voltor. Voltor is the vulture. Now vulture comes on the dead body. He is also a lawyer. Okay, Corbaccio, the crow, will come. Corvino, the big raven, the big crow, he will come. This Corbaccio is having his own son who is Bonario, and he will disinherit his own son from his property and give this property to the Volpone, right? And then again, this Corvino is married to Celia, his wife, and he will offer his wife to this Volpone that you can sleep with her because he is important, he cannot do anything, right? Actually, he is not important, right? There is another subplot which is of politic, would be lady politic and palatine. We would not talk about that in the great detail. Okay, so this happens, and when they all try to come and give gifts for our Volpone, one day what happens is that Mosca will make a great announcement that now he is dead and he has made me the owner of all the property. So this is the moment when things cannot get back to the normal. Now the Mosca will take all the advantage. Volpone will say that I am not dead, I am alive, I am not dead. This Mosca is taking it to the extreme. I am not dead, right? This is the moment when all the lies gets exposed. All the people know that this Volpone is faking the death. This Mosca was helping Volpone, and later this Mosca, deceived to the honor Volpone itself by becoming the king. So there would be, in the last, there would be a court. In that court, all the characters would be punished, and there would be a poetic justice in the end. Tell me in the comment section who gave the term poetic justice. Okay, so here the opening line is very famous, which is good morning to the sun and next to my gold. Volpone says that good morning to the sun and the gold because he is very much greedy. Okay, and closing line we have, that is mortifying the folks. Mortify means to deceive, or we can say defeat, because later in the end they all will be punished for what they were doing to the people for the money, right? So they all will be these all will be punished, and that is why we are saying that the folks itself is now defeated, right? The important scene here is Act 2, Scene 2, which is the mountebank scene. Volpone is disguised as a quack doctor because he gets to know that the wife of Corvino, who is Celia, she's very beautiful, and now he wants to see her face, right? So he goes to the colony of this Corvino, and through the window he will look at Celia, and here he decides that I will let the Corvino force her to come to me and sleep with me, and the Bonario will save Celia. It is this Celia and the Bonario who are the only good characters in this play. Okay, so now this is the complete story, and he is disguised as a quack doctor that please buy this oil, please buy this medicine from me, this have some magical powers. And it is from the window that the Celia is looking at this doctor, and she will just throw a hanky or handkerchief to that this Volpone, and when the Corvino will see that she is giving the hanky to a quack doctor, to this quack doctor, so he will beat our Celia a lot. That is the moment when there is some feminist element in the play. He will he will force her, and he will entrap her in the room. He will say that I will cut you half if you will ever look outside this window. He will cover that window permanently. Okay, so basically this is the whole story, and this the structure is this. It is a single day play, and that is why it is said that there is a unity of time, place, and action in this play and the Silent Woman of Ben Jonson. Okay, and this is again a PYQ, that is, this play has an influence of Aristophanes, who is famous for the new comedy, and that is why we say that this Ben Jonson is a classicist in nature, because he follows the classical writers like Aristophanes. Okay. Now, this is the important part of the play. What are the punishments? So, Volpone is imprisoned now, and all the property has been confiscated. Mosca is now made a slave, and Voltore is disappeared from the low profession, and Corbaccio is disinherited and sent to a monastery because he was very old person, and Corvino is publicly shamed and he has to ride on a donkey. So this is the punishment, and in the last, Bonario and Celia are both the innocent. So this is our Volpone by Ben Jonson. Now we have this play which is Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Now this is an absurd play, and Samuel Beckett has written this play in 1952 in the French language, and in the 54 this was translated in the English. This is translated directly from the French to the English. Here we have two acts which are a mirror to each other. Okay, and the genre is tragic comedy, right? This is a tragic in comedy, right? And this is basically theater of the absurd play, because everything is absurd here, everything is meaningless here. Now Vladimir and Strogan, Didi and Gogo, they are the two characters, and there is a country road and a tree there, which is the setting of this play, and they're just standing and waiting for Godot. Who is Godot? Nobody knows. They are just waiting for the whole two acts when Godot will arrive. So just waiting for the Godot. Godot is what? Godot is something of which we are waiting for our whole life, that yes, this will happen. This is a perfect thing. This will happen when we will become happy. This is the day when I will buy this car. This is the day when I will start working for my future, for my goals. This is the day from when I will start my net preparation. We always wait for perfect moment, for perfection. This is the actual Godot in our life, right? So Vladimir and Estrogan are waiting for some Godot. When Godot will arrive, but Godot never comes. So this is the meaninglessness of this word, that we people always keep waiting for something to happen, and that thing does not happen. And when we are helpless, when we try to ask for the help from the God, that what actually we should do, we are making some efforts, but our no efforts is giving any fruit. So that is the moment when there is no help from the God. And this is why, because the word is meaningless, word is absurd. Absurd means that we have to enjoy even the unenjoyable moments, that we have to enjoy even our saddest moments, be happy in all the states. That is the main idea of absurdism, right? There is also a character of Lucky and Pozzo and a boy. A boy will appear, and he in the first act will tell to our Didi and Gogo that Godot will not come. Godot will come tomorrow. In the second act, he again says this thing that Godot will not come. Godot will come tomorrow. So he just like a bait that yes, this will happen, but that never happens at all. Pozzo and Lucky is a pair of where Pozzo is a owner, and there is this Lucky who is the slave of our owner, and owner is always forcing and exploiting this our Lucky, that get up, you pig, get up, do this thing, bring this hat for me, I have to sit here, bring the bone to me, I have to eat it. So he is always exploiting our Lucky. And there is a speech of Lucky, the 2 pages speech, right? This is again a PYQ of net. Lucky's unpunctuated monologue. When this Pozzo will tell Lucky to think, he will think, and he will think for 2 pages, right? He is not able to make sense. That is why this play is absurd, because the dialogues are absurd, the characters are absurd, and also the theme is absurd, the structure is absurd, everything is absurd in this play, right? So there is a 2 pages long speech which I will show you like this. This is a speech of Lucky, and here you cannot even make sense of a single sentence. Given the existence of God as uttered forth in the public works of puncture and waterman of a personal God, there is qua. So this is the absurdism at its peak, and there is no punctuation. You cannot look at a single full stop or question mark. This is just a stream of consciousness style, we can say. And there is also the quote that is, they give birth astride of a grave, the light gleams an instant, then it's night once more. This quotation means that the God sent us to this earth, right? And there is this light, there is this happiness, then it's night once more, then again comes the sadness, and this is how life goes on. We are helpless, we are meaningless, there is always a sadness and a happiness, and nothing makes any sense anymore. Now this play is compared with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, and which is a play by Tom Stoppard. This is also an absurd play, right? Because it also has parallel plots and two characters, right? And basically you should know that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are the characters from the Hamlet of Shakespeare. Okay, and there is additional quotation that is again a PYQ of net, which is, nobody comes, nobody goes, and it's awful, says Strogon. That nobody is coming, nobody is going, it's all absurd, the things are stagnant, there is no time, there is no place, there is nothing. So this is waiting for Godot. And then now we have Look Back in Anger, our last play of the day, that is by John Osborne, and this is based on the Angry Young movement, right? Now this play is published in 1956 and it is in 3 acts, and the genre is here realism. Now after the post-World War, there was a World War, this illusionment in the minds of the people, and that is the reason that they young men, they were angry because they are frustrated by the war. They're frustrated by the war. They're not able to make sense of unity. What is unity? We have seen in the wasteland of this T.S. Eliot, who says that there is no unity. Everything is fallen apart after the war. The world is barren. The land is barren. We have nothing to do. So the similar state is shown in the characters of Look Back in Anger, where the characters, like we have Jimmy Porter, who is frustrated by everything because they think that there are no brave old causes. Now what does this mean? There is nothing worthy to be done now. Imagine a condition where you are just getting up early in the morning and you just spend your whole day by just scrolling the reels and shorts, and you are not able to study, you are not able to do something productive. So what you will say, there are no old brave causes, we are not having anything productive, so we are feeling very frustrated, angry. So that is the state. Okay, there is the setting is the single room, there is a single room flat, and English Midlands में 1950s का time है, right? And there is this Allison who is the wife of Jimmy Porter, and they always fight because there is a frustration in the home. Whenever we are in the home, we always get frustrated. This happens sometimes when we are not able to focus on our own goals. And there is this Cliff Lewis who works as a kind of peacemaker between these husband and wife. He is the friend of our Jimmy Porter. And then there is this Helena who is the friend of Allison, who comes in the home as a guest, but she will end up being the another wife of our Jimmy Porter. Now they would, start some affair. Allison will leave the home because there was a fight between Jimmy Porter and Allison, and this Helena will tell our Allison to just leave this Jimmy Porter because he is so rude, wild and violent. So this Allison will leave our Jimmy, but in the end what happens is that this Helena will become the another wife of our Jimmy Porter, and one day Allison will come back to this Jimmy Porter, and after having a miscarriage. Okay, there is this Charles, and Colonel Redford is the father of this Allison. So there is also a frustration in Jimmy Porter because this Allison belongs to some good rich family, but this Jimmy Porter is a working class. He just operates a street stall only, and he is not getting that much money out of it. So because of that, he is frustrated. He is frustrated by everything around him. Does not have any entertainment in the life, and the people who are around him, they does not have some emotions to show. They does not have any adventures to do. And then there is this bear and squirrel game, which is this bear and squirrel game, where bear is the Jimmy Porter, right? and this squirrel is our Allison, right? So they are bear and squirrel, and they act as bear and squirrel, and they place it. Okay, there is this symbol. If you will read the play in the detail, you will realize that there are key motifs like squirrels, bear, games, ironing board, which is a very common thing that can be found in any home. So that is why this is a kitchen sink drama. Basically here the setting is the ordinary home, ordinary kitchen sink and things like that, trumpet and newspaper. And this is a PYQ of net, which is nobody thinks, nobody cares, nobody believes. Sunday's gone sore on me. Here Jimmy Porter says that people are no longer interested in doing anything. They does not want to play sport, they does not want to fight for anything, they have no curiosity like a child, they are just doing their works, ordinary mundane works, they are so boring. So that is why he says that nobody thinks anything, nobody cares, and nobody believes on anything. They does not have anything to do in their life, they are so boring. And that is why he says that the newspapers on the Sundays, they are so boring. Sundays so gone sore on me, because on the Sundays what happens is that we are free, we are not doing any work. So that is why that is the moment that he feels the most bored that day, because even the family, they are so boring. So this is look back in anger, where he's basically looking back in anger, looking back at the things that he has not done yet. So this is all for this video. So yes, this is all about our video, and I hope you have learned a lot of things from these videos, that how you should approach a drama, because now you are having your examination, and now you should know that how exactly you should revise your dramas. Please be an active subscriber, be an active aspirant, right? You are just laying on the bed and just watching the marathons and the videos. This will give you no benefit, right? You have to take a topic and do brainstorming. You have to look at different aspects of some work. For instance, if I'm giving you Dr. Faustus, then you have to look at different aspects of Dr. Faustus, the kind of aspects that I have talked about recently. You can include PYQ, you can include dialogues, symbols, what is the story, the main characters, the settings, so things like that. So this is how study is to be done. You are going to be professors of English, so do the brainstorming, do not be a passive learner. And we all know that before the examination there would be lots of over information, right? So to avoid that over information, just make your own structure, make your own plan, that this I have to revise in this manner, I have to revise, I will have to revise these 10 plays because these are the most important, and with this approach I will try to revise the other plays as well. So this is a kind of guiding video for you, right? I know this is not enough, but a lot of things are now clear. So subscribe to our channel for more such videos, because I'll be uploading few more videos on other units as well, similar to this. Thank you, and all the best for your examination.